Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Peter, Estelle, and all those that are still joining us. Apologies for the background noise. There's a gardener with a leaf blower in the background. What can I do? I've just pulled up. I want to share with you a brief thought, since it's going to be exceptionally busy from tomorrow onwards, and unlikely that we'll be able to make it. I'm not sure. We're going to try, but I can't guarantee. So they tell the joke or the story, whichever way you want to look at it, regarding um, a a, um, a man that's he's driving in a car, and he gets a phone call from his wife, and the wife frantically tells the husband, "Be careful, be careful! I just heard on the radio there's some Michiganer that's driving the wrong way on the motorway. Just be careful that you don't hit him." And the man responded to his wife, "One Michiganer on the motorway driving the wrong way? There's hundreds of them driving the wrong way." Well, we're all familiar with the story. But swimming against the tide and going against the flow is something that, in fact, is something that's very, very Jewish. We've never actually, been a people that it's all about fitting in. It's all about leading by example, being that light to the nations. And if we think about the binding of Isaac, which we're going to read on the second day of Rosh Hashanah, that story, which is very much the beginning, the planting of the seed of the future of the Jewish people, is all about the fact that Abraham was someone from when he discovered God was willing to go against the tide. Didn't need to fit in. In fact, the name Abraham is that he is on one side and everyone else is on the other side of the river, and that's very much the hallmark of being Jewish. And that's when when Abraham found himself commanded to take his son, his only son, as we're all familiar with the story, and offer him up as the binding of Isaac. We know that this flew in the face of us. It was absolute irrational, illogical, flew in the face of everything that Abraham believed that God stood for, and therefore Abraham stood for. It was counterintuitive. It made no sense. He would be a laughing stock. He had been the one that had brought the idea of monotheism and godliness into the world, and the sanctity of life. And now what was he doing? He was going to take his son, his progeny, the future of his life's work, and he was going to offer him up. And the idea, I think, is something very, very profound, that on Rosh Hashanah we are able to affirm, in affirming our faith and reading the binding of Isaac, we're recognizing that to be Jewish means that we do have to sometimes swim against the tide, that we're not afraid to stand out, to be different, and to stand up for the things that we know are important. And there are times where it may seem exceptionally illogical and irrational. We've always been rather different to those around us, but we shouldn't be apologetic. We don't need to be afraid. You know the story we always tell, and with this we'll conclude, of the young man who goes for the interview for the job. He's in the final for the job interview, and all of a sudden it's getting late, and he says to the interviewer, "I really need, I'm really sorry for interrupting this interview, but I've been thinking backwards and forwards the last half an hour whether I should say something or not. You see, it's in the afternoon we Jews pray, and if I don't pray in the next 10 minutes, then I'm going to have missed the opportunity." The interviewer says, 100%, take your time. We understand. We're respectful of other people's faith and beliefs. Go for it. We'll have a coffee break. Anyways, they come back after 10 minutes, finish the interview, and he gets the job. And when they offer him the job, they say, "There's only one issue that we have with you, and that is the fact that you had to be apologetic for practicing your faith. If you actually are a person of conviction, if you actually believe in what you believe in, then you can say with confidence your beliefs, your practices, and thereby people respect those that respect themselves." So wishing everyone well. Have a great day, and please God, we'll try and see you tomorrow. Take care.